So yesterday we are done with the first two topics, advent of European merchants and English imperialism, British imperialism. As part of imperialism, we discussed many wars and also policies. And after imperialism, the next comes British colonialism. What exactly do you mean by colonialism? Tell me, what is colonialism? What do you know about colonialism? Colonialism is actually a modern phenomenon which was started in modern India, in the modern world. And it is a phenomenon which was not something new in India. It is entirely implemented, it is totally implemented everywhere in the British world. I mean, in the British Empire. One culture upon another culture. Generally, if you understand in last class, imperialism is all about one territory, one nation conquering another nation politically. Understand? With its military might, with its political might, one nation conquers another nation and imposes its administrative policies and all these things is imperialism. But colonialism goes far, one step ahead. Colonialism is now extended not only to the politics but also it is a modern phenomena which was started in 19th century only. Okay, it's a modern phenomena. It started in 19th century that converting a nation into its colony. Okay, and imposing its cultural domination, its economical domination, its social domination, its linguistic domination. All these phenomena comes under colonialism. Imperialism is only about politics, but the colonialism is about culture, society, economy, administration, your language, your education system, your civil services, everything will be as per the wishes of the colonized nation. So this is something, a new phenomena which you are witnessing in 19th century only. Now, as part of this colonialism, the very first topic is colonial economy. What are the colonial economical policies, which is very, very important for both prelims and mains? Colonial economic policies. Permanent settlement is also part of colonialism only, but permanent settlement comes under land revenue administration. This is different. Colonial economic policies. As part of colonial economic policies, 1600 to 1750. This is first phase of colonial economy. 1750 to 1947. 50 in the sense it's not an exact year. Okay, just take it as a rough. Okay. 1600 to 1750, 1750 to 1947. So two phases are there in the colonial economy. Tell me, what did you understand by these two different phases?
One has started, second has deep roots.
One has started and second one?
Deep roots. Its roots.
What do you mean by deep its roots? Why do you think there is a segregation? There is a segregation from 1750 only.
They became more political and
No. What is the significance of that 1750s, 60s, 70s? Industrial revolution. Industrial revolution in England. Understand? In first phase, English East India companies trade with India. English East India Company trade with India benefited whom? Companies trade with India. Trade with India benefited?
Company.
More than company, it benefited Indian merchants. Because in this first phase, we have everything to sell. Understand? We have everything to sell. Nothing we have to buy from the London. Understand? Because India is a hub of natural resources. English East India Company trade with India benefited more of Indian merchants. It benefited Indian merchants more than company. More than English East India Company. Why do you think Indian merchants are benefited? Because there is a huge demand. Yes, because there is a huge demand for Indian goods. There is a huge demand for Indian goods. Example, tell me, what are those goods in India which have demand? Number one, spices. Number 2, textiles. What is a textile called? Muslin. Next, number 3, indigo. Number 4, tobacco. Actually no.
Tobacco is something which they
Tobacco is there, but still tobacco cultivation was not extensively done. Okay. Nellore in Andhra Pradesh is very, very popular for handkerchiefs. Eluru in Andhra Pradesh is very, very popular for carpets. Understand? Machilipatnam in Andhra Pradesh is very popular for muslin. Understand? Bengal is very popular for indigo. Deccan is very popular for cotton. Even terracotta, etc., etc., the list goes on. Narsapur in Andhra Pradesh is very, very popular for shipping industry. Even when English merchants used to come to India in 1600s, they used to hire Indian ships and export their goods to London. Understand? Shipping industry was very powerful in India. Narsapur in Andhra Pradesh. Tell me which state now in India is very popular for raw materials? Andhra Pradesh. Understand? Kerala is very popular for spices. This is the reason in the first phase of the colonial economy from 1600 to 1750, as India is a hub of all raw and natural resources, so we have everything to sell, so Indian merchants got benefited. So this is the reason, even though these Europeans are doing many atrocities on Indians, still our Indian Rajas are silent. Understand? No Indian Raja is taking any kind of action on the Europeans despite their atrocities. Yesterday I told you, Portuguese atrocities in Goa, Portuguese atrocities in Bengal. Of course, Shah Jahan defeated them, but they did not expel them from India. Why? Because we need Europeans here. This is in first phase. Now something happened in 1750s, 60s, 70s, Industrial Revolution. Now this has transformed the whole colonial nature. The economical policies have been changed after 1750s. So now going back to second phase. Second phase, in between first phase and second phase, IR, Industrial Revolution in England. And this is our first chapter in our world history, Industrial Revolution. So as there is Industrial Revolution, now there is a change in economical policies. What happens because of the Industrial Revolution? There was technology. As part of the Industrial Revolution, which is the most biggest industry emerged in London? Textile industry. Now there is no need for these British to depend upon Indians for the raw material, for the finished good. Understand? Now they depend only upon raw materials from Indians, and they can manufacture the finished good, and now they wanted to export it to India, import it to India. Understand? So in the second phase now, second phase, first step, mercantile capitalism. Mercantile capitalism. This phase continued from 1750 to 1813. In the second phase, industrial capitalism. Now this phase continued from 1813 to 1858. Third, financial capitalism. Financial capitalism from 1858 to 1947. Now these three phases comes under the second phase of the colonial economy. Clear? I'll explain all these three. Mercantile capitalism, industrial capitalism, financial capitalism. These are the three different phases of the colonial economy. What is this first one? Mercantile capitalism. In this first phase, England or English East India Company buys natural resources from India. First phase, England buys natural resources from India. What are those natural resources? Just now I told you, indigo, cotton, silk, everything was bought from Indians, from Indian farmers. Now in this phase, this to export or to exploit, in this phase only to exploit the Indian natural resources. To exploit natural resources from India, they brought 3 different types of land revenue policies. I hope you know this. What are those 3 types of revenue policies? First one, permanent settlement. Second one, Ryotwari. Third one, Mahalwari settlement. So why do you think these policies came in between in this first phase? Because they wanted to exploit our natural resources. They wanted to loot it. Because it should benefit the industries, England industries. Now, in this second phase, industrial capitalism, whatever the goods which were exported to London, understand? Now they were turned into finished goods. Now this happens in the second phase. Finished goods. They were converted to finished goods in the England industries and they were imported to and they were dumped. They were dumped into India. And they were dumped into India at a cheaper price. At cheap price. This happened in the second phase, that is industrial capitalism. So from 1813 to 1858, this trade has been facilitated more, okay? And in the second phase only, there was maximum importance or significance given to commercial crops cultivation in India. In the second phase, utmost significance was given to cultivation of commercial crops. And these commercial crops are also called as plantation crops. Tell me now, what are these plantation crops cultivated in India?
Tea.
Exactly. Tea, coffee, rubber, tobacco, indigo, jute, sugarcane, etc., etc. All these are the plantation crops. So in the second phase, maximum significance to commercial crops. Tea, coffee. Mirchi was not something started in second phase. Mirchi was there in India right from the beginning. Commercial crops cultivation. Now, in the second phase only, England Parliament started implementing free trade policies. England Parliament took a very important and revolutionary decision. Free trade policies. According to the free trade policies, 2 acts were introduced. 1813 Charter Act and 1833 Charter Act. All this comes under the second phase only, sir. 1813 and 1833 Charter Acts are considered as free trade policies. What do you mean by this free trade? English East India Company. Confined to? No. 1813 Charter Act, 1833 free trade means, as per this free trade, English East India Company's monopoly over trade with India comes to end. So, even other private companies also from England started coming to India and involving in trade. Okay? 1813 and 1833. What do you know about 1813 Charter Act? 1813 Charter Act, already PYQ this was. 1813 Charter Act partially ended English East India Company's monopoly over trade. Still, in tea, trade with China, right? Tea, trade with China, monopoly is continued. English East India Company's monopoly over trade with India, which was continued, which was started actually in 1609 by the King James I. I hope you remember yesterday I told you, James I extended the charter validity for an indefinite period. Now it continued up to 1813. But still in two aspects, companies' monopoly over trade with India is still having. T, trade with China. What do you mean by this trade with China? What is that item, commodity? Trade with China? Opium. This is very huge. This is having huge demand in England. Understand? So they cultivated, how they cultivated tobacco in India, in the same way English East India Company cultivated opium in China. And these English guys have totally demolished, destroyed Chinese youth. Chinese youth got addicted to this opium drug. That's why there are 2 to 3 opium wars between company and China. Understand? Chinese kings were intolerant of this company's policies, even in China also. Now 1833 Charter Act, it completely ended up the monopoly. This is what free trade. According to the free trade, not only companies but any company from England also can freely trade in India. It completely or totally ended up the monopoly of English East India Company. So, by 1833 Charter Act, English East India Company's economical powers over India has totally come to an end. So, this is what free trade. And now, next, in this phase only, in the second phase, I am talking about industrial capitalism. In this phase, there was, to facilitate this trade, there was a lot of investment happened in the infrastructure development, logistics development. Infrastructure and logistics development was done in this second phase. What do you mean by this? Dalhousie. This man is responsible for making India a modern India. Dalhousie is a maker. Of modern India. UPSC mains question. In what ways Dalhousie is a maker of modern India? Tell me. He developed infrastructure. In 1853, railways. Which is the first railway line? Bombay to Thane. Second railway line? Raniganj to Calcutta. Raniganj to Calcutta, it comprises of 180 kilometers. Why do you think railway track started at Raniganj, it ended up in Calcutta? Because of the coal, because of exporting coal. Always railway track starts at a place where you see the natural resource. Railway point ends at a place where there is a coast. To speeden up the trade, infrastructure was developed. In the same year, 1853, there was development of GT Road. What is GT Road? Tell me, from where to where? Grand Trunk Road, built by Dalhousie. Calcutta to Delhi. First, I will tell you the history of Grand Trunk Road. There are total 3 Grand Trunk Roads. Understand? First Grand Trunk Road in ancient India, which was built by Chandragupta Maurya from Pataliputra to Takshashila. Understand? Where is Pataliputra? Bihar. Takshashila near Afghanistan. That is the first Grand Trunk Road built by Chandragupta Maurya in ancient times. I think you are not done with ancient India. Yeah. Second Grand Trunk Road built by medieval, in the medieval India by Sher Shah. That is from Sonargaon to Tamralipti to Sonargaon. Understand? First GT Road, where to where? Pataliputra to Takshashila. Second Grand Trunk Road, it was built by Sher Shah from Sonargaon, Bengal to Tamralipti to Sonargaon. Tamralipti to Sonargaon. And now modern India's GT Road is built by Dalhousie. Now it is from Calcutta to Delhi. That's all. This is the history of Grand Trunk Roads. Highway. This is very important for trade. So 1853 railways, 1853 GT Road. In the same year, 1853, telegraph, stamps. By 1880s, there was invention of telephone. 1880s lo telephone. The size of the telephone was reducing from 1880s to 2024. Size of the telephone, understand? 1856, underground cable networks. Underground cable network. And the same year, 1856, even postal system. Stamps, postal, everything from 1853 to 56 during the regime of Dalhousie. That does not come under economy. Woods dispatch is related to education. Public, yeah, yes, even PWD also. Department was also started by this man, Public Works Department. So all this comes under the development of infrastructure, logistics. Now in this second phase only we have maximum drain of wealth. Maximum drain of wealth is there in the second phase. Exposed by Dalabhai Naoroji. Now we have a separate discussion on drain of wealth. Wait, I'll come there. That I will discuss on the consequences of the colonial economy. Right. So this is all about the second phase, industrial capitalism. Now, third phase, or what did I tell you? Financial capitalism. What is this third phase now? Financial capitalism. Now, whatever the raw materials, whatever the profits that England has earned from India, those profits were again reinvested in India in the form of modern industries. Understand? Now, whatever the industries which were started in England, the same kind of industries or factories reflected in India now. They started investing in India. Example, banking industry. Understand? Example, modern textile industries, factories, they all were started even in India also from 1880s, 1890s. This is what financial capitalism. What is this third phase financial capitalism? Profits of England were diverted or reinvested in India in the form of industries. Example, first time you see in the India, in the modern India, banking industry, textile industry, jute industry, etc., etc. This continued up to 1947. Understood the whole picture of colonial economy? Three different phases. First phase, second phase. In the first phase, there is nothing to discuss because we are going back to 1600 to 1750. That totally benefited Indians. Where there was real exploitation in second phase. Understand? Mercantile capitalism and industrial. Now, you understood colonial economy. Now, what is the consequence of this colonial economy? Results. Just give the side heading results. Results of colonial economy. Tell me.
1779.
Okay, famine is the result. Scarcity.
Lost to Indian population and
No.
Indian industries.
Commercial crops, cultivation of commercial crops led to scarcity of subsistence crops. This is the first result. Cultivation of commercial crops led to scarcity of subsistence crops. Subsistence crops means food crops. Food crops. Scarcity of subsistence crops, which ultimately led to droughts and famines. This is the first immediate consequence due to the second phase of the colonial economy. Example of any famine? Which year Bengal famine? 1772, 3, 4 continued. Famine, the very meaning of the word famine means it will be continued for years, for a longer period of time. Sir, in Bengal, multiple times there are famines. 1770s there was famine, in 1890s there was famine, in 1943 that is actually called Great Bengal famine. It is because of whom there was Great Bengal famine? Can anybody tell me? It is because of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. This fellow is the reason for 1943 Great Bengal Famine. Almost 6 to 7 million people lost their lives in Bengal. Even you search in the internet, Bengal famine, small kids with malnutrition, bones are appearing. Understand? Because the food of the Bengal has been diverted to London during the Second World War. So Winston Churchill is the reason for that. 1896, dreadful famine. 1896, Pune famine. 1843, Guntur famine. 1943, Great Bengal famine. So all these are droughts, famines. This 1896 in Pune there was famine. That's why there was revolutionary terrorism in Pune. You know who was that leader who is fighting against this Pune famine? Balagangadhar Tilak. Tilak started a campaign called as No Tax Campaign in Pune. He asked nobody to pay the taxes. So this is the first. The next consequence of the colonial economy, migrations of artisans. Migrations of artisans to cities. Who are these artisans? Artisans. Artisans means the one who work in handicraft industries, labor class. First one affected the peasantry class, second one affected the labor class. So migration of artisans to urban areas, to cities, in search of livelihood or in search of employment. And now where did these people get employment in the towns and cities? In the modern factories. Those modern factories were actually started in third phase, financial capitalism stage. Livelihood. Then next, another great significance, drain of wealth. Drain of wealth. What exactly do you mean by this drain of wealth? In this drain of wealth, we have two different types again. One is visible drain and another one invisible drain. Visible drain and invisible drain. First of all, what do you mean by this drain of wealth? When Indian wealth was exported to another continent, it is called, and without any material benefits to the actual nation, is called as drain of wealth. So here the wealth should be drained to another continent without any benefits to the nation. Understand? That is drain of wealth. Now in this, what do you mean by visible and invisible? Visible, in this visible drain, export of raw materials. Export of raw materials. This visible drain, tell me. Apart from raw materials, what is a component comes under this drain of wealth? Academicians? Oh. Tell me the meaning of gifts. Kohinoor is not that gift. Gift is something that we have given to Europeans. Example, Robert Clive have taken 2,34,000 pounds from Mir Jafar after making Mir Jafar as Nawab of Bengal. That 2,34,000 pounds was personally given to Clive as gift. Number one. Number two, 24 paraganas were given to English East India Company by Mir Jafar, and all the resources coming from 24 paraganas exported to London. That is also visible. Gifts, why? It is something given to the Rajas. Rajas gave it to Europeans. Given by Rajas, gifts. Then next, subsidies paid by Indian Rajas to the Europeans as part of subsidiary alliance also comes under this visible drain. This is all openly visible. Then what is this invisible? అది ఎక్కడ బయటికి కనబడట్లేదు. Salaries which were paid to Governor General, England MPs, England ministers from the Indian taxpayers' money comes under salaries. Salaries which were paid to Governor General, MPs, ministers, where this exchequer is from Indian taxpayers' money. So this is invisible drain, and this particular part which I am telling you is called as home charge. This is called as home charges. Home charges means salaries paid to the European officials by the Indian taxpayers' money. Home charges. And these home charges were abolished according to Government of India Act 1919. 1919. Home charges were abolished. Means salaries were paid from the England's exchequer, from not Indian's exchequer. So this comes under invisible. So this is actual meaning of drain of wealth. Clear? Comments or criticism on drain of wealth. Who are all those intellectuals who exposed this drain of wealth? Drain of wealth is something which was only exposed by intellectuals because no common man can understand, because this is an organized loot. Understand? Who are that intellectuals? Number one, Dadabhai, grand old man of India, Dadabhai Naoroji. Where did he criticize this? He exposed this in England Parliament. In England Parliament, he put his own book on the table and he exposed all the statistics which were related to this loot. He wrote a book called England's Debt to India. England's Debt to India. And this book, England's Debt to India, was presented on the table of the England Parliament on May 22, 1867, because he is a British MP. He is a member of Parliament from the Labour Party, this man. Understand? So in this England's Debt to India book, he exposed what is this, the meaning of the drain of wealth. He also wrote another book. Yes. Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. These are the two books written by Dadabhai Naoroji. So, according to Dadabhai Naoroji, Dadabhai Naoroji's calculation is in the form of sterlings. He calculated the drain of wealth in the form of sterling. Sterling is an England currency. He did not calculate it in the form of rupees. He calculated in the form of sterling. Now, second, another intellectual, the man who calculated the drain of wealth in the form of rupees is Dinshavacha. He is one of the economists, modern Indian economist, Dinshavacha. He calculated drain of wealth in the form of rupees, Indian currency. He says nearly, on an average, 25 crore rupees per annum was drained from India. Dinshavacha. Next, any other economist, intellectuals who spoke on this drain of wealth? The next intellectual is R.C. Dutt. R.C. Dutt. R.C. Dutt wrote a book, Economic History of India. He exposed drain of wealth in this book. Economic History of India. R.C. Dutt. Then another intellectual, R.P. Dutt. R.P. R.C. is different, R.P. is different. R.P. means R. Palme. P-A-L-M-E. I repeat, P-A-L-M-E. R.P. Dutt. He wrote a book called India Today. India Today. Then another economist, Govind Ranade. M.G. Ranade from Bombay. He is also one of the great social reformer come economist. He also calculated the drain of wealth. Right? This is all about drain of wealth. The next, another consequence or significant result of the colonial economy, deindustrialization. Deindustrialization and drain of wealth both are linked to each other. Drain of wealth is possible only because of the deindustrialization. What exactly do you mean by this deindustrialization? No, actually there is manufacturing in India kada, in first phase.
అంటే బయట అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఏమైనా కండిషన్స్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసే వాటికి తక్కువ ప్రైస్ ఇచ్చి ఇక్కడ సెల్ చేస్తారు. సో ఆ ఇంపాక్ట్ అన్నది ఇప్పుడే ఇండస్ట్రియలైజ్ అయ్యే ఇండియా దాని ఎఫెక్ట్ చూపించింది.
Exactly. Deindustrialization means, listen to this definition, systematically destroying native industries for the benefit of England's industries. Systematically destroying our Indian handicraft industries. Destroying means not physically, understand? With their policies, you have to destroy our native handicraft industries. So, systematical destruction of native handicraft industries for the benefit of England's industries is exactly the deindustrialization. How systematically they are going to destroy Indian industries? They have to, by imposing more and more taxes on Indian made products, and they have to make sure that Indian made products shall not cross the seas and enter into the England market, so that the Indians will be dependent totally on England products rather than Indian products. ఎందుకంటే ఇండియన్ తయారు చేసిన ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ పైన మీరు ట్యాక్స్లు వేసుకుంటూ పోతుంటే దాని ప్రైస్ పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా అదే టైంకి చీప్ ప్రోడక్ట్ని డంప్ చేస్తారు. సో విచ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ యూ గోనా బై? ఫారెన్ ప్రోడక్ట్, అంతేనా? దట్స్ వాట్ deindustrialization. Now native handicraft artisans, the labor are not in a position to compete with the foreign merchants. So what is the result? You are going to shut down your shop. That's all. Deindustrialization. Example, I will tell you how they have done this. British imposed a tax called as Moturba. Do anybody know what do you mean by this Moturba tax? Moturba means tax on weavers. Tax on weavers, generally we call it as tax on maggam. మగ్గం పన్ను అంటాం. చేనేత కార్మికుడు బట్టలు నేసేవాడు, వాడు మగ్గం వేస్తాడు, తెలుసు కదా? ఆ మగ్గం మీద ఒక పన్ను వేస్తారు. అల్టిమేట్లీ ప్రోడక్ట్ పైన ఇంకొక ట్యాక్స్ ఉంటుంది, మగ్గం పైన ట్యాక్స్ ఉంటుంది, ఎక్విప్మెంట్ పైన ట్యాక్స్ ఉంటుంది, మల్టిపుల్ ట్యాక్సెస్ ఆర్ దేర్. దిస్ మోతుర్బా ట్యాక్స్ is a tax on maggam. This is increased. The tax has been spiked to 300 times within span of 100 years. Understand this statement. Maggam tax, the Moturba tax is increased by the British, okay? Within a span of 100 years, this tax was increased to 300 times, man. Ante example, let's say in 1800, in the year 1800, Moturba tax is 3 rupees. 3 rupees. By 1900, tell me, 3 rupees into 300, ante 900 rupees tax. Ante within a span of 100 years, 300 times tax is increased. Now the native handicraft people, weavers, are not in a position to sell their goods because nobody will buy. Why? This is what deindustrialization. The first industry in India which was deindustrialized is textile industry for the benefit of English textile industries. Clear? This is what deindustrialization. So this is one significant result of colonial economy. Then another result of colonial economy, beginning of new systems. Beginning of new systems in the colonial economy. Number one, as part of these new economical systems, number one is Teen Katiya. Teen Katiya. What is Teen Katiya? 3/20 what? 3/20th part of your best soil shall be reserved for indigo cultivation. Exactly. 3/20th part of the best soil. For example, you have 10 acres. In that 3/20th will be measured by the British. That too best portion. will be measured, and that will be reserved for indigo cultivation. So Teen Katya is only applicable for indigo, not for other crops. Beginning of another new system called as Dadini. What do you mean by Dadini system? Dadini system means nothing but it is system of advances, or otherwise system of intermediaries. Dadini. Generally the meaning of Dadini means a middleman. Dadini is a middleman. Dadini is a dalal. Dadini is a broker. Dadini is an intermediary. Between whom? Between peasant and planter. We call them European planters. Planter is one of the capitalist who is coming from England and settled in India, and he is having some kind of demand. I mean, he wants some kind of goods from Indians. Example, planter, peasant. This planter is a European. In between these two people, there is Dadini. This Dadini will set the deal between planter and peasant. Why do you think there is a necessity of Dadini? Because he doesn't know language. Let's say this planter is a John, understand? And this peasant is Charan, understand? Now this John needs or wants 1000 kgs of indigo. ఆ జాన్కి ఇండస్ట్రీ ఉంది సార్ ఇంగ్లాండ్లో, వాడికి ఇండిగో కావాలి రా మెటీరియల్. ఆ ఇండిగో ఇప్పుడు చరణ్ పండిస్తాడు, 1000 kgs డిమాండ్ ఉంది వాడికి. ఈ డీల్ సెట్ చేసేది ఎవరు? దాదిని. దాదిని ఈజ్ ఎ బ్రోకర్. నౌ దిస్ దాదిని విల్ టేక్ కమిషన్ ఫ్రమ్ బోత్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్, అండర్స్టాండ్? ఈ ఎక్స్ప్లాయిటేషన్ ఎక్కువ ఈడిదే ఉంటుంది దాదినిదే. జమీందారీ సిస్టంలో మిడిల్ మ్యాన్ జమీందార్ ఎట్లా దోచుకుంటాడో, అగ్రికల్చర్లో ఒక కొత్త మిడిల్ మ్యాన్స్ వచ్చారు. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే ఈ దాదినికి అగ్రికల్చర్ పైన నాలెడ్జ్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది, అందుకే వాడు అవసరం జాన్కి. సో హియర్ peasant is exploited by planter and also by dadini. This peasant is exploited even by money lender also. Now again, this is another community, another section of society. So every community, every section of society exploited peasant. As a result, peasant rebellions. So Teen Katya, Dadini. The next beginning of new economic system called as Hundi. Hundi system, 2019 or 20 some, I don't remember exactly. UPSC Prelims question. What is Hundi? Direct question in Prelims. Tell me. From bank? It is a valid currency. It is a financial document. Understand? It is like a legal bond. It is nothing but Hundi. Hundi is nothing but a financial instrument, a promissory note, which is like a bond paper or a promissory note or a financial document, whatever. Hundi. I told you that this John needs 1000 kgs of indigo from this Charan. Okay. For this, John will give advance to Dadini. Dadini will give the same advance to Charan. Understand? After the completion of the entire, after the harvesting the crop, now when he returns the entire crop to John, now the rest of the money will be given. So initially money was not given. This advance was given in the form of Hundi. Understand? So money was given in the form of promissory notes. I promise you that I paid you that 10,000 rupees as a sum of bearer of Charan. I will put the signature. Tomorrow, if there is any problem with my word, okay, if I betray you, you can go and take that Hundi and you go to and file a case in Supreme Court or High Court. So it is having a legal validity, Hundi. So these systems anni colonialism lone first time vachayi. Ardhamainda? That's all. These are all results of colonial economy. Colonial land revenue policy is first one, permanent settlement. First one, permanent settlement is also called as Jamindari settlement. Now what is this Jamindari settlement? In which year it was introduced? Jamindari settlement was introduced in 1792 by whom? Lord Cornwallis. It was introduced by Lord Cornwallis, and Jamindari settlement is introduced only in Bengal state, Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Varanasi. Just you can remember that 19% of the British territory is only implemented, only in the 19% lands, not everywhere in India. This is just an experiment which was made by English in India. This is a system which was used in order to collect the land revenue. Because English fellows, they doesn't have any understanding of revenue collection. They are not experienced. They are after all merchants. They know only to trade way. But now as they are ruling Bengal, now they have to collect the revenue. So they are not having any kind of experience. They have to depend upon the middlemen. Those middlemen are Jamindars, landlords. Jamindar, remember this section of society, Jamindar. Jamindar section of society is for the first time we are hearing about them in the modern India. In ancient and medieval times, never in India there were Jamindars. In ancient and medieval times, landlords were there, but those landlords are not Jamindars. Those landlords used to be Brahmins in ancient times. Okay, in medieval times, Muslim landlords are there. They are called as Khuts and Mukaddams. Alauddin Khilji time lo undevalu vilekko. Khuts and Mukaddams. Are by modern India lo first time British wadu create chesina section of society e Jamindar. Ippudu veellaku powers ekku unnai. Ancient medieval landlords kanna modern landlords ki powers ekku. Understand? So now they wanted to effectively use Jamindar in this system. According to this system, Jamindar is a middleman between peasant and English East India Company. Peasant and English East India Company. Now, according to this system, Jamindar is a patadar. Jamindar is a patadar. What do you mean by patadar? He is a holder of the land. He is the owner of the land. The land was registered in the name of Jamindar. Very important understanding. According to this system, Jamindar's responsibility is to collect revenue from the peasants. His responsibility is to collect revenue from the peasant. How much revenue should be collected from peasant? No, it was not there in the system. According to his wish, how much ever he want, he can collect from the peasant. But how much ever he collects, from that 10/11 shall be given to as a share to company. 1/11 is a commission for Jamindar. Understand? So how much ever he collects, from that 10/11 share to company, English East India Company, and rest of the 1/11 is commission for Jamindar. Sound high unda? Okay. So 10/11 share shall be given to company, 1/11 commission. Whatever this 10/11 share to company was given is called as peshkash. Something imagine like 90%, 10%. 90% share evariki veltundi peshkash? Company ki. 10% commission, Jamindar. Now Jamindar will be in a hurry to get this 10% commission. How much ever he collects, how much more the revenue he collects from the peasant, that much commission he gets from this peasants. So now this man is very much. Why company have to depend upon Jamindar? Because he's having an understanding. Next, any other point? Whatever this peshkash that Jamindar is paying to company, he have to pay this before sunset. So this peshkash has to be paid to company before sunset. This is what you call sunset law. Before sunset means evening 6:30. That's a rule. Company betna rule. Ardhamainda? Nothing rational. Actually, it was decided in auction only. జనరల్గా ఆప్షన్స్ అనేవి ఈవినింగ్ సన్సెట్ అయినప్పుడు పెడతారు. ఎట్ ద టైమ్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షన్ హీ విల్ అగ్రీ టు పే దిస్ మచ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ మనీ. నౌ హీ హ్యావ్ టు పే దిస్ ఆప్షన్ ఆల్సో బై దిస్ టైమ్, అంతే. అదర్వైజ్ ఇఫ్ హీ ఫెయిల్స్ టు పే పేష్కష్, దెన్ వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్? Then his lands will be seized, his property will be seized, then again auction will be held, then again the same land will be sold away to another jamindar. ఇది జమీందారీ సెటిల్మెంట్. ఇది ఓన్లీ ఫస్ట్ బెంగాల్లో, బీహార్లో, ఒరిస్సాలో, వారణాసిలో 19% ల్యాండ్లో ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్. దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద రిజల్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ జమీందారీ సెటిల్మెంట్? లిమిట్ లేదు, అవును. ఆక్షన్ జరుగుతుంది, జమీందార్ బైడ్ ద ల్యాండ్, కొనుక్కుంటాడు. ఆప్షన్లో కొనుక్కున్నాడు జమీందార్. ఎంత కొనుక్కున్నాడు అని ఒక ప్రైస్ ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లెట్స్ సే ఇది అశోక్ నగర్ అనుకోండి. అశోక్ నగర్ అనేది ఆప్షన్లో ఒక జమీందార్ 10 లక్షలకు కొనుక్కున్నాడు, ఓకేనా. ఈ 10 లక్షలు అనేది కంపల్సరీ పే చేయాలి జమీందార్, ఎప్పుడైనా పే చేయొచ్చు. అది మినిమం అమౌంట్ 10 lakhs. అది అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ సీజన్ 10% కమిషన్ ఇస్తూ ఉండాలి. అంటే కంపెనీ విల్ బీ గెటింగ్ దిస్ 10%, 10/11% పేష్కష్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ క్రాప్. అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ప్రైస్ దట్ జమీందార్ అగ్రీడ్ టు బై డ్యూరింగ్ ద ఆప్షన్, ఇట్ ఆల్సో మస్ట్ బి పేడ్. ఇదంతా పీరియడ్ ఎన్ని సంవత్సరాలు? 10 years. అర్థమైందా? 10 years టైం పీరియడ్లో ఉంటుంది ఇది. దట్స్ వై దిస్ జమీందారీ సెటిల్మెంట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ యాజ్ డెసినియల్ సిస్టమ్. డెసినియల్ సిస్టమ్ అంటే మినిమం ఇంత అని ఉంటుంది సార్ వాళ్ళకు. క్రాప్లో మినిమం ఇంత వస్తుందని ఐడియా ఉంటుంది, అది సర్వే చేసినప్పుడే చెప్తారు అది. సో ఇన్ దట్ 10% కమిషన్, 90% టు కంపెనీ. So tell me now, according to this Jamindari system, according to your understanding, who is the loser? Peasant. అంతేనా? మీ ఆన్సర్ పెజెంట్ ఏనా? జమీందార్ లూజ్ అవడా? ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ లూజ్ అవ్వదా? Everyone is a loser in this system. When peasant doesn't pay tax to, the revenue to Jamindar, Jamindar is not in a position to pay peshkash to company. When he doesn't pay peshkash to company, company will suffer loss. Understand? The system was started in 1792, just within span of 10 years. By 1802, almost 54% of the Jamindars have lost their estates. 54% of Jamindars in Bengal lost their estates. అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి? ఎవడు పేష్కష్లు కట్టట్లే. ఎందుకు కట్టట్లే పేష్కష్లు? అక్కడ బెంగాల్లో ఫెమైన్ ఉంది. బెంగాల్లో ఫెమైన్ ఉంది. ఫెమైన్ ఉంటే రైతు ఎట్లా కడతాడు డబ్బులు? అప్పుడు జమీందార్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు? ఎక్స్ప్లాయిట్ చేస్తున్నాడు పీజెంట్ని. అందుకే పెజెంట్ రెబేలియన్స్ వచ్చినాయి. క్లియర్? అల్టిమేట్లీ కంపెనీ ఆల్సో లాస్ట్. Company also was not successful. The revenue was not up to its expectations. Okay? Peasant is definitely will be exploited in this system. But apart from peasant, even Jamindars, 54% of the Jamindars also lost their estates. Right? So as this system was not up to their expectations, they have implemented another settlement. And one more thing I want to tell you, Jamindari settlement, it was whose idea actually? Tell me. జమీందారీ సెటిల్మెంట్ అనేది ఐడియా అసలు ఎవరిది? ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ బై కార్న్వాలిస్. బై దిట్స్ ఐడియా వాజ్ నాట్ గివెన్ బై కార్న్వాలిస్. జాన్ షోర్, రిమెంబర్ దిస్ నేమ్, జాన్ షోర్, రైట్ దేర్. జమీందారీ సెటిల్మెంట్ ఐడియా వాజ్ డిజైన్డ్ బై వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ మర్చెంట్, జాన్ షోర్. ఆఫీసర్, సారీ, ఈజ్ నాట్ మర్చెంట్, ఆఫీసర్. జాన్ షోర్, SHORE. Jamindars also auctioned for a high price. Even they are not in a position to pay that high price also. Yes. So all these decisions, all these designs will be coming from English East India Company's supervising board of control, court of directors. Akkad nunchi decisions vastayi. Enta tax collect cheyali, everything will be decided by board of control, court of directors. Will be implemented by Cornwallis, that's all. And idea for that board of control, court of directors given by John Shaw. Next, Ryotwari settlement, it was effectively introduced in 1820 by Lord Hastings. Lord Hastings, and it was, the idea is given by anyone? Thomas Munro. And? Yeah, Colonel Reed. Thomas Munro and Colonel Reed are the two officers. Who is this Munro by?
Similar like Captain Office.
Huh? Huh? He is a collector. Collector of?
Madras.
Seeded. CEDED. What is CEDED? Yesterday I told you. Rayalaseema. Kadapa, Kurnool, Anantapur, Chittoor, Ballari. All these 5 areas combinedly called as seeded. ఆ 5 ఏరియాలకు ఇతను కలెక్టర్. This man is an inspiration for all collectors even today also. Munro Bhai is great. Munro is the first collector who surveyed the lands in Anantapur district headquarters. అక్కడ ల్యాండ్స్ అన్ని సర్వేయింగ్ చేయించాడు. ఇండియన్ హిస్టరీలో ఎవరు ఏ రాజులు కూడా ఇంతకుముందు ఎప్పుడు ల్యాండ్లు సర్వే చేయించలేదు. సర్వే చేపిస్తేనే అక్కడ ఎంత ట్యాక్స్ కలెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు అనే ఒక అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వస్తుంది. సర్వేయింగ్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. No, he made actually the district officials to survey the land so that there will be a clarity that how much revenue we will be getting from this land. ఇంతకుముందు ఎవరు చేయలేదు. సో మున్రో ఆల్సో very much admire, he is the greatest admirer of Hinduism. Okay, he gave huge donations to TTD. He gave donations to Ahobilam temple. He gave donations to Kurnool Mantralaya temple, Raghavendra Swami Mantralaya temple. He gave Gangalam to Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam as gift. Understand? And when Munro was promoted to governor's position, he became Madras governor later on. Understand? Then at a place called Pattikonda near Kurnool, అక్కడ కలరా డిసీజ్ వచ్చింది జనాలందరికీ. There was a pandemic at that time, cholera. He break the protocol. Munro came to Pattikonda to visit all the people because he's having that responsibility. He's responsible, and he also affected with that cholera, and he died in 1830s. He died. So the greatest of the greatest officer in the British times is Munro. His agenda is not to loot India, but to give very good suggestions. So Ryotwari is a suggestion given by Munro. Ryotwari is a system without any middlemen, without any zamindar. Pattas were given to peasants. In this Ryotwari system, pattas were given to peasants. In this Ryotwari system, land is measured. Land is measured. In this system, there is no middleman. In this system, tax is collected by government. Tax is collected by English East India Company. So no middleman. But what is the problem with this system? No, there is no problem with land measurement. Tax is collected by company only. But how much tax they collected, you know? 55% of the tax is collected by company from the peasant. ఇక జమీందారు ఉంటే ఏంటి లేకుంటే ఏంటి సార్, ఈడే దోచుకుంటున్నాడు అంతేనా? ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ జమీందార్ కంపెనీ is exploiting now. Then what is the use that you did not bring జమీందార్ into picture? So here Munro is helpless because 55% figure is decided by Munro's job is only to give advice. And the problem with the Ryotwari system is tax collection. This is the highest amount of tax collection by British only in the entire Indian history. You know, in the medieval India, there was one Raja, Alauddin Khilji. He collected 50%. అంటే ఒక రైతు 100 కిలోలు పండిస్తే 50 కిలోలు ట్యాక్సే కట్టాలి. వీడు వాడిని క్రాస్ చేసినాడు 55 వీడు. ఇది అసలు ఎక్స్ప్లాయిటేషన్ అంటే. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, Ryotwari system is implemented not everywhere in India. Only in Madras, Karnataka. Madras in the sense even in Andhra also. Andhra also comes under Madras only. Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, even in Assam. Assam also this Ryotwari system was implemented. Then next, Mahalwari system. This is the third one. Mahalwari system was implemented in NWFP. It was implemented in Punjab. It was implemented in CP. It was implemented in Agra. In these areas, Mahalwari system was implemented. What is NWFP? Northwest Frontier Province. Mahalwari system, it is based on village panchayat system. Mahal in the sense village, estate. According to this system, village panchayat will be the officer, will be the middleman between English East India Company and peasant. Village panchayat. The responsibility of collecting the tax is in the hands of village panchayat officer. It was developed actually in 1833 during Bentinck's time. 1833 to 34, appudu Governor General Bentinck. Initially, 2/3 of net produce was collected as tax. Later, it was increased to 1/2. So initially 2/3 part of net produce was collected as tax. Later it was increased to 1/2. Right. This is about, actually the idea was given, Mahalwari settlement idea was given by R.M. Bird. R.M. Bird, B-I-R-D. So colonial land revenue policies can be integrated even with colonial economy also. ఈ policies అన్ని ఎప్పుడు ఏ గ్యాప్ లో వచ్చాయి? I told you second phase కదా, ఇండస్ట్రియల్ క్యాపిటలిజం ఇప్పుడు వస్తాయి. To exploit, to loot the natural resources. Colonial educational policies. Very, very interesting topic. Colonial education. Before the advent of English to India, our Indian education system was largely confined to Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, that's all. Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic. But now with the English, when English East India Company started ruling Bengal from 1773, they are not at all interested in giving or providing education to Indians. They are not at all fascinated in providing education to locals. Why? Why they are not interested? Because they are ruling, it is their responsibility to give education also, but they are not interested. Why? క్వశ్చనింగ్ అనేది దూర్కి బాతు. క్వశ్చనింగ్ చాలా లేట్గా వస్తుందిలే, అంత దూరం లేదు వాళ్ళ ఆలోచన. How can kids understand kada? At least education must be given to kids kada. Because డబ్బులు లేవా? కరెక్టే. ఎందుకంటే ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ ఈజ్ ఎ ప్రాఫిట్ ఓరియంటెడ్ కంపెనీ. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ ప్రైవేట్ కంపెనీ అండ్ యూ నీడ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ ఫర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. అండర్స్టాండ్? సో దే ఆర్ నాట్ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ in investing, in spending money. They are interested in wealth generating. Understand? So that's why they are not interested. And one more thing, why they are not interested, because they don't know anything. By what type of education shall be given to Indians? They doesn't know anything. If they are ready to, if they wanted to give us English education, we are not in a position to learn English. అంతేనా? అందుకే ఏం చేశారంటే ఫస్ట్ దే వాంటెడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ అవర్ కల్చర్. ఫస్ట్ దే ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇండియన్ సైకి, అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇండియన్ మైండ్ సెట్. అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ దే స్టార్టెడ్ సమ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్. Those institutions, earliest institutions are only called as, first one Warren Hastings start చేస్తాడు, Calcutta Madrasa. Understand? Jonathan Duncan start చేసింది వారణాసి Sanskrit College. William Jones start చేసింది Asiatic Society of Bengal. ఆ Asiatic Society of Bengal అనేది ఒక ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఇట్ స్టార్టెడ్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్స్. వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ట్రాన్స్లేటింగ్ our ancient Sanskrit manuscripts into English, so that they will understand our culture, Indian culture, right from the roots. అర్థమైందా సార్? ఆ విలియం జోన్స్ అనేవాడు ఏషియాటిక్ సొసైటీలో ఇండాలజిస్ట్ని ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇండాలజిస్ట్, దిస్ ఈస్ అన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ ఇండాలజిస్ట్. హూ ఈస్ అన్ ఇండాలజిస్ట్? హూ డూ రీసెర్చ్ ఆన్ ఇండియన్ కల్చర్ అండ్ ఇండియన్ సివిలైజేషన్. William Jones himself is an Indologist. He translated Abhignana Shakuntalam into English. I hope you know this. Kalidas రాసిన బుక్ అది అభిజ్ఞాన శకుంతలం. It was translated into English in 1789 by William Jones. Charles Wilkins translated Bhagavad Gita to English. Now they will understand what is India by. If you read Bhagavad Gita, if you know Mahabharatam story, you will understand Indian roots, where you are coming from. The greatest Indologist, my favorite man, Max Muller, he translated Rigveda into English. Sir, ఇవన్నీ ఎగ్జామ్కి ఇంపార్టెంట్ సార్. Institutions name are important. Number one, Warren Hastings. What did he start? Warren Hastings? Calcutta Madrasa. Why? What do you mean by Madrasa? It is a Muslim institution, educational institution. Now this Madrasa will produce Muslim intellectuals, so that they will have to know about the Muslim culture in India, because Muslims are also the considerable population of Indian culture, part of India. Calcutta Madrasa. Jonathan Duncan, one of the official of the English East India Company, Jonathan Duncan started Varanasi Sanskrit College. Varanasi Sanskrit College. The next, tell me. Lord Wellesley, Governor General Lord Wellesley, he started Fort William College. He started Fort William College. Why? What is the purpose of this Fort William College? It is to train the newly recruited civil servants on Indian culture. To train civil servants on Indian languages, Indian culture. అప్పటికి ఇంకా ఇండియన్స్కి ర్యాంక్ రాలేదు. అప్పటికి ఇంకా ఇండియన్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఐసిఎస్. Britishers are there, civil services. It is like Labasna. Understand? So why this civil services was introduced? Because civil servants, newly recruited, all these European civil servants will be trained effectively to deal with Indians. To deal with Indians, first you have to understand Indian mind. Then, tomorrow you also become an IAS officer. You are posted somewhere in Rajasthan or Assam or Andaman Nicobar. When you are posted as a district collector in Andaman Nicobar, first as soon as you go there, you try to know the local culture. Sentinelese, Orans, tribes, Jumbarias. Understand? వాళ్ళ కల్చర్ తెలుసుకోవాలి ఫస్ట్. Very, very important. William Jones started Asiatic Society of Bengal. What is the purpose of Asiatic Society? Translations. Translations of ancient texts to English. That William Jones himself translated Abhignana Shakuntala to English. William Jones translated Abhignana Shakuntala to English. Charles Wilkins, Wilkins, Charles Wilkins translated Bhagavad Gita to English. Max Muller translated Rigveda to English. The same William Jones, he also translated Manusmriti to English, the ancient most law book. Manusmriti. William Jones translated Manusmriti to English and he named it as a code of Gentoo law. Code of Gentoo law is a name given to Manusmriti's English version. If you study Manusmriti, you will understand ancient laws which were designed by our Rajas. So accordingly, the British judiciary was continued initially. Huh? మనుస్మృతి మొత్తం చదవలేరు బాబు, అవి చదవాలంటే చాలా డేస్ పడుతుంది. సోర్స్ ఫర్ మనుస్మృతియా? దేవదాసి సిస్టమ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎ పనిష్మెంట్. దిస్ మనుస్మృతి ఈజ్ ఎ బుక్ ఆఫ్ లీగల్ కోడ్స్. దేవదాసి ఈజ్ ఎ సిస్టమ్, సోషల్ సిస్టమ్ అది, విచ్ వాస్ ప్రాక్టీస్డ్ ఇన్ టెంపుల్స్. దేవదాసీస్కి ఏమైనా పనిష్మెంట్స్ ఉంటే అందులో ఉంటుంది అది. So these are the earliest institutions. Okay. Listen everyone. So as company is not at all interested in education, company will be regulated by England Parliament. That's the reason 1813 Charter Act says minimum of 1 lakh rupees shall be spent on education system in India from its annual budget. Company kun annual budget lo minimum 1 lakh rupees should be spent. ఇది చెప్పింది ఎవరు? ఒక కమిటీ వేస్తుంది ఇంగ్లాండ్ గవర్నమెంట్. కమిటీ ఆఫ్ పబ్లిక్ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ అనేది ఒక కమిటీ. దిస్ వాజ్ 2018 ప్రిలిమ్స్ క్వశ్చన్. Committee of Public Instructions is a committee which recommended the company to spend minimum 1 lakh rupees. A committee good important. Committee of Public Instructions is a committee which recommended minimum 1 lakh rupees on education. So this provision was there in which act? 1813 Charter Act 13. Same 1813 Charter Act also legalized evangelism in India. What is evangelism? Conversions. So Christian conversions. Free hand was given to Christian missionaries through 1813 Charter Act. Okay. And up to 1813 Christian missionaries does not have permission to convert, but still they converted. But from 1813 they were free. And evangelism ఎప్పటి నుంచి పెరిగింది? 1813 నుండి. సో ఈ క్రిస్టియన్ మిషనరీస్ నౌ ఇనిషియలీ దేర్ అజెండా ఇస్ కన్వర్షన్. నౌ హౌ దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ సంబడి? హౌ క్రిస్టియన్? హ్యావ్ యూ సీన్ దిస్ మూవీ కాల్డ్ ట్రాన్స్? మలయాళం మూవీ ఉంటుంది ఒక ట్రాన్స్, ఫహద్ ఫాజిల్ది. దే విల్ కాల్ సమ్ ఎక్స్ పర్సన్ టు ద డయాస్, అండర్స్టాండ్, హీల్ అంటాడు. ఇన్ దిస్ వే దే ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ఫూల్. అంతేనా? చూసే ఉంటారు కూడా యూట్యూబ్లో కూడా. ఇప్పుడు కూడా జరుగుతాయి అట్లాంటి. వాడి కాలు పని చేయదు, హీల్ అంటే పని చేస్తుంది అంట వాడికి. సో ఈ ఫోర్సిబుల్ కన్వర్షన్ అనేది ఒక పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లం అయిపోయింది ఇండియాలో. ఇది 1813 నుండి ఒకటిని కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలంటే చాలా ఈజీ, వాడికి ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇస్తామని చెప్తారు. సో క్రిస్టియన్ మిషనరీసే ఫస్ట్ మన స్కూల్స్ అన్ని పెట్టింది. I think many of the students here also the products of Christian missionary schools. Saint Thomas School, Saint Gabriel School, Saint Anne's, Saint Joseph, Saint Xavier. Portuguese batch Saint Xavier. Now there was a confusion in the English East India Company. Within English East India Company, there were two groups. Orientalists, Anglicists. కాదు, ఓరియంటలిస్ట్ యాంగ్లిసిస్ట్ ఇద్దరు యూరోపియన్సే. కాకపోతే ఓరియంటలిస్టులు ఏంటి, దే సపోర్ట్ ఇండియా, దే సపోర్ట్ ఇండియన్ లాంగ్వేజ్, వెర్నాక్యులర్ కల్చర్స్, వెర్నాక్యులర్ లాంగ్వేజెస్. Anglicists support Western culture, Western civilizations are great, but both are Europeans only. Understand? These two groups were divided in the English East India Company. Orientalists, they support Orient. Orient means East. Orient అంటే ఈస్ట్ అంటే ఏషియా అంటే నేటివ్ అంటే వెర్నాక్యులర్. దే సపోర్ట్ వెర్నాక్యులర్ లాంగ్వేజెస్. దే సపోర్ట్ ఇండియన్ సివిలైజేషన్ ఈస్ గ్రేట్ బికాస్ దే అండర్స్టూడ్ బై, because these Orientalists only translated our ancient texts kada. So they understood, when they translated, they understood the greatness of this country. So they are supporting that Indians should get education in the local language. Now Anglicists, they support Western culture. They say that West is great. Anglicist group. Okay. Example of Orientalist, Warren Hastings. This man is an Orientalist, first Governor General of Bengal. Example of Anglicist, T. Macaulay. T. Macaulay, Thomas Macaulay. Very, very, very important man, Macaulay. Who? Macaulay? Magna Carta Woods. Cheptan. Now there was debates going on between these two groups. Then finally what happened? Governor General William Bentinck appointed an education commission. Okay, and the chairman of that education commission is Macaulay. Okay, come on, what chairman అయినప్పుడు వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడు? Obviously he would support Anglicist view. So he promoted Anglicist view, and Macaulay gave report on education system in India in 1835. That report is called as 1835 Macaulay Minute. According to the Macaulay Minute, English is decided as official language of India. So education must be given in English. So mana education, mana fate ni decide చేసింది ఎవరు? Macaulay. 1835 Macaulay Minute. Macaulay Minute is a report which decided English as official language. So now the English language is replaced as official by which language? Persian. Before English in India, Persian used to be the official language right from the Delhi Sultan's time. Now that Persian is replaced by English. So we all are the Macaulaytes. Understand? Macaulay decided the fate of Indians. వైస్ వర్సాగా యాక్చువల్గా మెకాలే చెప్పాడు కదా ఇంగ్లీష్ విల్ బి అఫీషియల్ అని. అది కూడా తర్వాత చేంజ్ అయింది వుడ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత. Again, Wood's dispatch, what Wood's dispatch says, English is not compulsory by, even you have to give significance to local languages also. So primary education local language, higher education English. అది చేంజ్ అవుతూ వచ్చింది. లేటర్ ఆన్ మల్టిపుల్ కమిషన్స్ వేర్ అపాయింటెడ్ ఆన్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. ఓకేనా? ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంటే ఇద్దరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. ఒకటి మెకాలే ఫస్ట్, తర్వాత 1854లో డెల్హౌసీ టైంలో వుడ్స్ డిస్పాచ్ వస్తుంది. అండర్స్టాండ్? And this Macaulay is very, very keen, his views are very strong on India. He says Indians are corrupt. He says Indians are uncivilized. He says Indians are barbaric. He says that we Westerners came to India with a theory called white man's burden theory. You know this? White man's burden. It is a burden of a white man to civilize the East. And Macaulay passed a very ludicrous comment on Indians that the whole of Asian literature is not even equal to one rack of English books in the England library. Ardhamainda? The entire Asian literature is not equal to one rack of English books in England library. Anta great anta English literature, English sciences, English language, English grammar. Understand? Huh? Of course, he is wrong. The greatness is there in Asia only. Indian literature was the ancient most by. Adiki em telusu, Rigvedam chaduvite telustadi. He is totally a fanatic. This man, Macaulay. Of course, he is an intellectual only. That's a joke ane view lo antunna. So, Macaulay started a theory called as downward filtration theory. It is a theory of Macaulay, downward filtration theory. What do you mean by filter to the lower classes? Education must be given to whom? Only elites, only to the upper classes. English will give education only to upper class. Upper class must filter that education to lower class. Problem ekkada vastundi ante that upper class received education, but that upper class did not filter the education to lower class. That's why you see anti-caste revolts are there in the modern India. Depressed classes revolts. Why Brahmins are not giving education to depressed classes? Discrimination only. And this downward filtration theory is rejected by Wood. Downward filtration theory is promoted by Macaulay. It was rejected by Charles Wood. Wood says no downward filtration theory. Company should give education even to lower classes also. Education commissions. Number 1, Wood's dispatch. 1854, Wood's dispatch. This Wood's dispatch chairman, Charles Wood. Charles Wood is a chairman, and the report is called as Magna Carta of Indian Education. This report is called as Magna Carta of Indian Education. It's a revolution in the education system. Tell me, what did Wood recommend?
Vernacular language should be given importance.
In primary section. Yeah. Point number 1 or A. What did Wood recommend? Committee recommended that primary education shall be given in vernacular languages. Primary education vernacular. B.
All classes of the society should be educated.
Education to all. C. Education to even women also. D. Scientific education. Scientific education. Very good. Next, education, establishment of universities for higher studies. So according to the recommendations of Wood's dispatch, 3 universities were emerged: Bombay, Madras, Calcutta. Next, F, private grants in trade, grants in aid. Private grants in aid, and even private sector also have to invest in education system, not only the government. All these are the recommendations given by Wood. Who is this Charles Wood? He is the head of board of control. Understand? He is the head of board of control. In every state, G, in every state there shall be Department of Public Instruction. Department of Public Instruction. Public Instruction committees, departments are regarding education. These are all recommendations. Even teachers, another recommendation, teachers also shall be trained before giving them the job. ఎందుకంటే చాలా మంది టీచర్స్ కి రాదు. అండర్స్టాండ్? Teacher training shall be provided, courses. After Wood's dispatch, the next important commission is Hunter. Hunter Commission. Generally, there are two Hunter commissions. Another one? (1882) Hunter Commission, Chairman W. Hunter, and it was appointed by Lord Ripon. Actually, commission was appointed by Lord Ripon, great Governor General. What is the important recommendation of Hunter? Primary education shall be given priority, and this primary education shall be handed over to local bodies. Local bodies means both municipal bodies and district boards. Rendu vastayi, district boards, municipal bodies. So education, primary education to local bodies. For that, center will pump 1/3 of its expenditure to local bodies. Understand? Center will devolution of funds. Devolution of funds. 1/3 of the expenditure will be given for education. 1/3 of the total expenditure will be spent over the entire education system to local bodies. And he is giving high priority for education. In that, again, women's education also will be given priority, according to Hunter. The next important commission, Raleigh Commission. Yeah. Raleigh Commission was appointed by Curzon in 1902. By Lord Curzon in 1902. It recommended for universities, education shall be totally centralized. Centralization of education system. All the colleges, education institutions shall be brought under the control of government, center. So basically, government wanted to control more and more this education system. Why? Why Curzon wanted to control the education system?
Movements.
Means
of communication.
Our time low problem is with Bengal. In Bengal already there was Calcutta University. Calcutta University students are highly revolutionaries. And almost all the students of Calcutta University are the students of Aurobindo Ghosh. A great revolutionary, a Bengali revolutionary, Aurobindo Ghosh, of course, is a member of Congress party, and his own brother Barinder Kumar Ghosh is a student of university, and they are creating a problem. And there was total, secularism there. Hindus and Muslims are highly united. That's why he wanted to control education system. He wanted to control universities. He wanted to partition the Bengal. That's why Curzon 1905 partitioned Bengal, because problem is with Bengali students. There will be a Senate control. Yes, to control the radicalization of students. There will be a Senate with 100 members. Senate, SENATE. A Senate shall be formed with 100 members. This 100 members of the Senate shall decide the curriculums of education. ఎడ్యుకేషన్ కరిక్యులమ్స్ ఎట్లా ఉండాలి, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ విల్ బి డిజైన్డ్ బై దిస్ సెనెట్, అండ్ దిస్ సెనెట్ విల్ బి అండర్ ద కంట్రోల్ ఆఫ్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఓన్లీ, అంటే పొలిటికల్ అపాయింట్మెంట్స్ ఇవన్నీ. ఓకే, నాట్ లెస్ దాన్ 50, నాట్ మోర్ దాన్ 100, ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ 50 to 100 మెంబర్స్ ఉంటారు సెనెట్ బోర్డులో అది. అండ్ ఆల్సో గవర్నమెంట్ షాల్ గివ్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ టు R&D డెవలప్మెంట్, రీసెర్చ్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్, R&D in education, in universities.
So they never envisaging that this might create
This might be
a challenge for education.
at a science, research and development.
So what the experts are like, if we invest in education,
Nothing. They doesn't have any thought in such a way. They seriously they thought of developing science, because there are some governor generals who wanted to prove themselves also. Sir, like great. There are only two good governor generals. One is Rippan and another one Curzon. Curzon is actually a very good governor general. The only negative aspect is partition of Bengal. That is the only negative thing he did in India. Otherwise, everything is positive. You know about Curzon? Curzon developed education. Curzon developed agriculture. Curzon is the first governor general who started archaeology department in India. Understand? Curzon gave importance to the heritage, Indian heritage. He is the one who preserved all previous ancient monuments in museums. ఇవన్నీ కర్జన్ టైంలోనే అయినాయి. కర్జన్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అనదర్ కమిషన్ ఈజ్ సాడ్లర్, SADDLER, సాడ్లర్ కమిషన్, 1917, 1917. Sadler Commission, 1917. Actually, who was the Governor General in 1917? Chelmsford. Lord Chelmsford was the Governor General at that time. Sadler, he says that 12 years schooling must be there. Schooling, generally up to 10th standard, 12 years of schooling must be there. Very simple recommendations. After passing of intermediate only, after the passing of 12th only, then there must be the entry to the universities. Otherwise, in those days, whoever wants, they got entry or admission in the universities. So there was no strict regulation. So he says after passing of intermediate, then there must be admission in university. Okay, that's all. Sadler. Then after Sadler Commission, any other important? Hartog, HARTOG. Hartog Commission, 1929. HARTOG, Hartog Commission, 1929. Who was the Governor General? Irwin, Lord Irwin. It was appointed by Lord Irwin. Very interesting recommendation given by Hartog. Average, listen to this statement. Average students up to 8th standard shall be diverted to vocational courses. Did you get the point? Average students up to 8th standard shall be diverted to vocational courses. Vocational courses means skills training. Apart from education, skill development, any kind of industrial skill or sports, whatever it is. So generally a student's average will be taken up to 8th standard. If it is very, very poor, then they will be diverted from education. It is a wonderful point, man.
even Abdul Kalam advocates for the same.
Yeah, maybe. Even Gandhi also says the same thing. Gandhi also says the same.
Certification.
I was very poor student up to 8th standard. If that point would be implemented, I would go to cricket. చాలా పిచ్చి నాకు క్రికెట్ అంటే. In my 8th standard only I went to cricket coaching. But no encouragement కదా. Studies. అంతే మన ఇంట్లలో. So, my favorite cricketer Brendan McCullum. Understand? New Zealand. First IPL, first match 150. Yes, in first IPL. Hitter, KKR. So, it's a very good point. Average students of 8th standard. And yeah, that's all. Next, another very, very important commission. Wardha Scheme of Education, 1937. Wardha scheme of education, 1937. Wardha is actually a place in Bombay state. So this education scheme was designed at Wardha. So it got recognition, it got identified with Wardha. So this report is based on Gandhi philosophy. This report is based on Gandhian philosophy. What are the views of Gandhi on education system? Exactly, it reflected same in the Wardha scheme of report. And who is the chairman for this Wardha scheme of education? Zakir Hussain. Zakir Hussain is one of the member of Congress party. He designed this education scheme. So this is based on Gandhi's philosophy. I am asking you this question now. In the opinion of Gandhi, he is supporting Western education or Indian education? Gandhi supports Western education or Indian education?
Western education is socialist.
No, actually he criticized something. Now everyone will think that Gandhi also went through Western education. He went to South Africa. He is also a product of English medium education. So definitely he supports Western education. Ultimately wrong. He always supported native education. And he says that Western education have created a lot of gap among Indians. Western education was introduced for a particular propaganda, for a particular agenda. Western education have made totally Indians slaves to the British. Western education have turned Indians as slaves to Englishmen. Western education was introduced only to make Indians as clerks in their company. That's all. But they underestimated Indians. Indians, after receiving Western education, became highly intellectuals. Then, Indians ఏదైనా చాలా ఫాస్ట్గా నేర్చుకుంటారు సార్. Cricket is invented by English fellows, but it was stopped by Indians only. కనిపెట్టు నువ్వే అని మేము టాప్ చేస్తాం. ఇందిరా ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అట్లా బాగుంది. వాడు పొలం దున్నారు అంటాడు. Yeah. Now, what are the views of Gandhi on education? So he criticized Western education. He says it is creating gap among Indians. He says it is making slaves, and also he says that not only education but also students shall be given vocational courses, and also very important, Khadi shall be introduced in curriculum. Okay, write this very important point. Khadi, Khadi. Khadi, spinning. Khadi shall be introduced in education system. Spinning, spinning for self-sufficiency. So actually, he point eppudu cheptadu Gandhi during non-cooperation movement. And during non-cooperation movement, Khadi is the symbol. So he want that to be implemented in education system so that every child have to learn the art of spinning on their own, so that it would affect British economy. Okay, and one more thing is primary education shall be free and compulsory. This is also a view of Gandhi. Primary education shall be free and compulsory. Up to 8th standard, education shall be in mother tongue. This is also one of the important point. Up to 8th standard, education shall be provided in mother tongue. Ante vernacular. Hindi shall be the second language. Gandhi says Hindi shall be second language. Ikkade problem vachinది సార్. Hindi shall be second language అన్నాడు. It was not accepted by Justice Party in South India. Understand? In South India, in Madras, the most popular dominant party is Justice Party, which was based on reservations, which was a depressed classes party. Understand? It opposed Gandhi's view on education. Gandhi says Hindi shall be second. Why Hindi second language? Understand? South Indians rejected it. Dravidian theory is going on. Yeah, that's all. These are the important views of Gandhi on education. The same reflected in Wardha's scheme. That's all. This is all about education, colonial education. Then what about colonial civil services? Tell me who introduced the civil services in India? Lord Cornwallis. Cornwallis introduced in which year? 1786. That's why he is the father of civil services. 1786, Lord Cornwallis introduced civil services. And when civil services was introduced, there are two types of civil services. Covenanted and non-covenanted. Higher services, lower services. Which Charter Act says even in civil services Indians must be admitted? 33 and 53. Initially 1833 Charter Act says Indians also must be recruited in civil services, but it was not followed by company. That's why once again the provision is repeated in 1853 Charter Act. So 1853 is very, very important. 1853 Charter Act says Indians shall be in ICS, and also ICS shall be a merit-based exam. ICS exam shall be based on the merit. Civil servants shall be chosen on the basis of merit. Merit in the sense competitive exam. Reservation.
I'm still thinking about that example, sir. I was not referring to the other side of what you guys were thinking. So I was quite clear on what I was telling on it. On that example that I referred to, right?
Civil service exam.
Cricketer.
Cricketer. Oh no.
So I was not referring to the other side of the meaning that you guys were thinking.
Carry weight.
No, I was just.
Don't take it serious, bhai. That is a joke. Okay. So, accordingly, first competitive exam of ICS was conducted in 1856. 1853 Charter Act says exam to be conducted. First exam was conducted in 1856. Who is the first Indian? Which year? UPSC PYQ. They gave the match the following. 1863. 1863, Satyendranath Tagore was the first Indian to crack ICS. Who is he? How come it is possible for Satyendranath Tagore to crack this exam despite many difficulties, restrictions put by company? He belongs to landlord family. Rabindranath Tagore family was the family of landlords, jamindars. They have paisa. Understand? Satyendranath Tagore and another Indian who topped the exam, R.C. Dutt. Then another Indian, Surendranath Banerjee. He also topped the exam. Then another Indian, Subhash Chandra Bose, also topped the exam. Fourth. Subhash Chandra Bose, fourth rank. All India, fourth rank. Surendranath Banerjee. What was the examination restrictions, guidelines for the exam?
You have to go and write there.
Examination center is in London.
And even age is very less.
What is that age? Initially it was 22. Later it was reduced to 19. Who reduced it to 19? Lytton by Lytton. Lord Lytton reduced the age limit to 19 years. And there is also horse riding. There was also horse riding. Horse riding was compulsory. If you clear the horse riding, then only you are allowed to write the exam. Physical test. Horse riding. Surendranath Banerjee, for the first time when he was doing this horse riding, he fell down from the horse. All the people were sitting around and cheering, "Surrender not Banerjee, surrender not Banerjee." Surendranath Banerjee కాదు, Surrender Not Banerjee. Surrender Not. Again for the second time he repeated this horse riding, and for second time he was selected. Then he came to the ICS. He got recruited. Then Surendranath Banerjee is the first ICS officer who was suspended because he is maintaining contacts with all the nationalists. Understand? Surendranath Banerjee, he was suspended from service later on because he was treated as anti-national. Being as a bureaucrat, you are having contacts with revolutionaries. And also Surendranath Banerjee is the first journalist to be arrested. Surendranath Banerjee is the first journalist to be arrested. He wrote a paper called Bengali. In that Bengali newspaper, he criticized British. So according to the sedition law, he was arrested. Surendranath Banerjee is the first journalist to be arrested for criticizing British government. So very important, Surendranath Banerjee. What about Bose? He resigned. Why he resigned? Actually, he joined. He joined just, but within the probation period, he left the service and joined in Congress party. Because of Gandhi. Gandhi starts non-cooperation movement. The entire Indian youth, just they were looking like Gandhi as a national figure. Everyone trusts Gandhi. But after non-cooperation movement, the suspension of non-cooperation movement, Bose is the first person to be disappointed. ఎందుకు వదిలేసినారు అనుకున్నాడు సర్వీస్ అప్పుడు. అర్థమైందా? అబౌట్ ద మూమెంట్ 1922 Gandhi suspended abruptly కదా non-cooperation movement. Then he was disappointed. Lord Lytton brought an act called Statutory Civil Services Act. Lord Lytton introduced Statutory Civil Services Act. According to this act, 1/6 reservation was given to the depressed classes in the civil services. According to this act, 1/6 reservation. I mean, 1/6 of the reserved posts, 1/6 of the posts were reserved to the depressed classes in civil services, in ICS exam. Actually, Lytton wanted to put check to the upper classes. So there was always a myth that civil services is an exam of elites. Poor people can't crack this exam. It was a myth. Okay. ఎప్పటి నుంచి ఈయన ప్రూవ్ చేస్తాడు అన్నట్టు లోవర్ క్లాసెస్ని కూడా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్కి ఎంకరేజ్ చేస్తాం. ఆయన ఉద్దేశం లోవర్ క్లాసెస్కి ఏదో మంచి చేద్దామని కాదు. ఈ బ్రాహ్మణులు అందరూ వస్తున్నారు దీంట్లోకి, బ్రాహ్మణులకు చెక్కు పెట్టాలా, అందుకే టు ఎంకరేజ్ లోవర్ క్లాసెస్. అది లిట్టన్ అజెండా. Lytton is a very, very dangerous viceroy in India, man. I will come to that Lytton section. Tomorrow I will teach you about Lytton. That's all. Next topic, 1857. Sepoy revolt or mutiny. 57 Sepoy revolt or mutiny. First of all, understand Sepoy revolt or mutiny. What happened in Sepoy revolt is not important. What are the reasons and what is impact? That's the important exam. It's a fact-based exam, sir. Fact-based, what happened in the revolt, you have to remember everything. Okay. So now I am asking you, what is the main reason for Sepoy revolt?
Doctrine of lapse.
Actually, there are multiple aspects. Political reason.
Socio-political reason.
Political reason is doctrine of lapse. What happened according to the doctrine of lapse? Lord Dalhousie have abolished even giving pensions to the princes also. He abolished titles. Last Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II, his son was not treated as prince. Why? His son was not given proper pension. Understand? In the same way, princes were deposed, princes were treated with indignity. So this is one of the important reasons, doctrine of lapse. Next, number two, cartridge is the last reason. Which one? Next, apart from doctrine of lapse, Christian conversions, evangelism within the cantonment areas, Sipoilalo, adi kuda one of the reason. Okay? Vellore Mutiny in 1806. Sir.
అంటే అది కూడా ఒక
That is different actually. One more reason is Jamindars. Jamindars have lost their estates as part of Jamindari settlement. So those Jamindars who were affected with permanent settlement also involved in this revolt. And one more thing I am telling you, sir, 1857 Sepoy revolt is not only the revolt of Sepoys. It is a culmination of small and big sections of society. Every section of society involved in the Sepoy revolt. Understand? Another reason, Awadh's conquest of Awadh. Yesterday I told you. Who became widow? Hazrat Mahal became widow. She is also one of the reasons for Sepoy revolt. Okay?
Discrimination.
Yeah.
Discrimination in the services.
I will come there. One more thing, economical aspect చూసుకుంటే sir, artisans lost their livelihood and they migrated to the urban areas in search of employment. Peasants were affected, artisans were affected. They also involved in the Sepoy revolt. Okay. Now coming to the Sepoys.
Sir, జమీందార్స్ ఇంకా ప్రిన్స్లీ స్టేట్స్ వాళ్ళు సపోర్ట్ చేశారు.
Jamindar support చేశారు. Only those Jamindars who were affected with permanent settlement. I can give you an example of one Jamindar also, Kunwar Singh. Kunwar Singh is a man of 5,000 acres. He lost every inch of his land according to permanent settlement. He was roaming on the roads in search of employment. Now this fellow is part of Sepoy revolt. Bihar. Kunwar Singh, Jagdishpur. Now when it comes to Sepoys, Sepoys have some issues with this British. Okay. There was one act which was introduced 1856, General Service Enlistment Act. 1856, British government brought an act, General Service Enlistment Act. Okay, according to this act, Sepoys have to agree with the terms and conditions of the British government that anywhere, any part of the world, they have to go and fight on behalf of the British. They have to involve in war in behalf of the British without any cross question. Understand? Ante basically mana Sepoys vellaru sir etu. We have a sentiment. What is it? Do not cross the sea. So for British, there is no discipline for the Sepoys. So to bring discipline in the army, so Sepoys were entrusted to sign an agreement to go anywhere part of the world and fight on behalf of the British. This is what General Service Enlistment Act. Otherwise action will be taken. Court martial will be done. Court martial. So E Act Sepoys lo unrest తీసుకొచ్చింది sir. And then next, Sepoys were ill treated, very low wages, racial discrimination, evangelism. Sepoys were forced to cross the seas and Sepoys were forced to convert to Christianity. And then the last reason is greased cartridges, Enfield rifle. Greased cartridges, Enfield rifle episode. This is the immediate reason for Sepoy revolt. Yeah. This happened in Bengal. One day, what happened in Bengal? All the Sepoys in 34th Native Infantry in Bengal, they are done with their drill exercises, and they have been to their places. They are taking rest. One of the Sepoy came out of his room and wanted to have some water. Outside the room there is a pot. One of the peon or attender, he also came at the same point of time. He also wanted to have some water. And that Sepoy started insulting that peon. Arey, how dare you fellow, you are a lower caste, you belong to a lower caste, and how dare you to come to my place and drink the same water which I am drinking. In this way, caste discrimination. Chupettadu. One of the Sepoy, some ex-person. He discriminated on the basis of caste. That fellow's mind was triggered immediately. Peon. He went and created a rumor. And he told, immediately he gave the answer. Acha, you are discriminating me. Do you know one thing, bhai? Every day you are using that greased cartridge and you are biting the cap and you are loading and you are firing. Do you know what that greased cartridge is made up of? అని అన్నాడు. చెప్పరా ఏంటి అని అన్నాడు. It was made up of cow fat and pig fat. And every day you are biting it. That is a rumor which was created by that peon to this sepoy. This sepoy was Brahmin. And it created fear in his mind that he went and told to all his colleagues. Actually, it is a rumor created. Why he created that rumor? Because he wanted to frighten him. Because he discriminated him on the name of caste. ఈ చాలా మందికి తెలియదు ఇది స్టోరీ. సోర్స్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద హిస్టోరియన్ రోడ్ శేఖర్ బందోపాధ్యాయ అని చెప్పి రాశాడు ఆయన. ఇది మిగతా ఈ స్పెక్ట్రమ్ బుక్కుల్లో ఇది ఉండదు. అర్థమైందా? Even after the total end of the Sepoy revolt, even British appointed a committee to know whether it is real or not. Committee also was appointed to know whether it is rumor or not. And even they did not understand. Cow fat, pig fat. See how intelligently he created the rumor. Both Hindus and Muslims will be affected with sentiment. Islam mein suwar khana mana hai bhai. Understand? Hindus mein गाय. So they were scared, and one of the Brahmin sepoy, he was very much frightened and his mind was triggered, who belongs to the 34th Native Infantry at Barakpur, Bengal, Mangal Pandey. He immediately took his pistol and shot two British colonels. Colonels ni champadu. Lieutenant Boff and Colonel Hersey. And చెప్పి ఇద్దరు అవుట్ అక్కడ. Immediately Mangal Pandey was caught. And Mangal Pandey put his head in the rifle, in the cannon. Understand? If you want to kill me, you kill me, but I am not ready to bite this cap. Understand? He was hanged to death. On May 10th, 1857, all the rebel sepoys who decided to expel the British rule from India, they have met at a place called Meerut in UP. And they decided to go to Delhi. And they have chosen Bahadur Shah as a leader. So they wanted to first ask that man, Bahadur Shah. All these rebel sepoys, early in the morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30, they went to Red Fort. That man inside the Red Fort in the early morning, 5:30, was studying namaz. And all the rebel sepoys came there and shaking the gates. Understand? Bahadur Shah Jindabad, Bahadur Shah Jindabad. Along with Bahadur Shah, there is one more commander. His name is Bakht Khan. Understand? Now, he is not in a position to think also. Bahadur Shah was tense totally. Because sepoys are asking for leadership. If he accepts the leadership, he will be died in the hands of British. And first of all, who is this Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah? He is a pensioner of English East India Company. But inside he was very happy because people are choosing him as leader. 56 ఇంచ్ కా ఛాతీ. మోదీ అంటాడు చూడు ఎప్పుడు, మేరా 56 ఇంచ్ కా ఛాతీ. అట్లా బహదూర్ షాది కూడా చెస్ట్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ అయింది ఒకటేసారి. హ్యాపీ. Because tomorrow, if they're gonna expel the British from India, who is the leader of Hindustan? Revival of Mughal rule. So he was very happy, but at the same time he was scared of the British because he was not having powers. He was just a pensioner. So Bakht Khan told, "Chalo, let us go for this, accepting this leadership." War started. Bakht Khan out. Bahadur Shah was caught. Bahadur Shah was kept in Rangoon jail, Burma Rangoon jail. That is the end of Mughal chapter. Old man is 75-year-old man. Unnecessarily accepted leadership. ఓడరా నేను బొమ్మన్నది అసలు లీడర్గా. అర్థమైందా? ఎందుకు యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసినావు? యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయగానే ఈపు పగిలింది. అంతేనా? He should have rejected కదా. What would have happened? At least for some more years, this Mughal Raja's family maybe survived. The whole family out there. He was tempted basically. The way sepoys motivated Bakht Khan and Bahadur Shah, it was really encouraging for him. Okay, that's the point. In the same sepoy revolt, mutiny centers were there. Jhansi Lakshmi Bai was there. Actually, Jhansi Lakshmi Bai died in 1856 only, sir. 56 lone chanipoyindi. But we include that in Sepoy revolt. Understand? Because she was fighting against the doctrine of lapse. So we brought that into Sepoy revolt to glorify the Sepoy revolt, ante. But in reality, she was not there.
Sir, but you say Sepoy revolt has started from 1856 and it took the place. I mean,
Actually, no. Sepoy revolt started in 1857 May. April, May, ఆ టైంలో. Hazrat Mahal is also part of this issue. Hazrat Mahal. Kunwar Singh is one of the leader. Arra, there is a place called Arra in Bihar. From Arra, A-R-R-A-H. Kunwar Singh is the leader. From Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai is the leader. From Lucknow, Hazrat Mahal is the leader. Understand? From Delhi, Bakht Khan is the leader. And no, who from Kanpur also same. From Kanpur, Nana Saheb Tantia Tope. Who is Nana Saheb? Last Peshwa. He was the adopted son of Bajirao too. And what is the problem of Nana Saheb? He is not getting pension. That is his personal reason. Generally, Sepoy revolt, every leader have their own motivated personal interests. There is no unity, and all these leaders have fought against the British from different centers but not united. Biggest problem of Sepoy revolt is they does not have a unified agenda. Everyone have their personal interest. Now Sepoy revolt was suppressed. What is the consequence of Sepoy revolt? Immediately after the end of Sepoy revolt, Queen's Proclamation, 1858 November 1st, it was called Grand Darbar of Allahabad. Allahabad lo darbar untundi, akkada Governor General evaru Lord Canning. Canning is a Governor General. Okay? You know one statement made by Canning? Lord Canning made a statement. In the entire Sepoy revolt, the only men is Lakshmi Bai. Did you understand the statement? In the entire Sepoy revolt, the only men is Lakshmi Bai. Ante, she only fought very bravely. Though she is a woman, she fought like a man. It's a statement made by Canning. Inta pedda maata, sir. And also Canning says, thank you to all the princely state Rajas because you acted like breakwaters to the political storm. Understand? All the princely state Rajas acted like breakwaters to the political storm. And the 1857 Sepoy revolt is like a storm. And all the princely state Rajas are acting like Anicut, breakwater. They are thankful. Example, which princely state Raja supporting the British? Hyderabad Nizam, Madhya Pradesh Raja, Bhopal Raja is supporting them. Punjab, there are many princely state Rajas. Why Sepoy revolt failed? Chaptan. Why Sepoy revolt failed? Tell me one logical reason. That already we are done with that. No proper leadership, no unity, no weapons, no advanced technology, no unified interests. Apart from all this, tell me one logical reason. Why Sepoy revolt? It was not a nationalist movement. No. You mean to say that Sepoy revolt is confined only to few places. Apart from that, tell me one logical reason. Sepoy revolt was not supported by middle class section of society. Middle class. Who is middle class? Who is middle class? Middle class means Western educated section of society. Indians who received Western education. వాళ్ళనే మిడిల్ క్లాస్ అంటాం. అంటే ఎవరు వాళ్ళు? డాక్టర్స్, టీచర్స్, అకౌంటెంట్స్, క్లర్క్స్, వీళ్ళంతా మిడిల్ క్లాస్ సెక్షన్, ఎడ్యుకేటెడ్ సెక్షన్. దే డిడ్ నాట్ షోడ్ ఎనీ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇన్ ద సిపాయి రివోల్ట్. వై?
They're against the war.
They were? అదే వై?
Violence and all.
No, it's not about violence. Exactly. Because they have a fear or insecurity among them that tomorrow if British rule would be expelled, then again Mughal rule, medieval feudalism would revive back. Medieval India మళ్ళీ వస్తుంది. అరే ఇప్పుడే సరే ఇండియా మోడర్నైజ్ అవుతుంది. అండర్స్టాండ్? ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ వచ్చింది, డెవలప్మెంట్ వచ్చింది, స్టాంప్స్ వచ్చినాయి, పోస్టల్ సిస్టమ్, railways, western education, employment. Now if tomorrow Mughal rule would be revived, feudalism, landlordism, medieval landlords, again Indian economy would be pushed back. So this is the insecurity among Indian intellectuals. Still, intellectual middle class section of society was not yet ready to create a leadership. The same educated middle class section of society have created an organized leadership in the national movement and fought against the British. By that time they are highly matured because they understood the exploitation. 1857 లో ఇంకా వాళ్ళకి ఎక్స్ప్లాయిటేషన్ అర్థం కాలేదు సార్. దాదాబాయి నవరోజీ ఈజ్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ మిడిల్ క్లాస్. మా ఎంజీ రనడే ఈజ్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆఫ్ మిడిల్ క్లాస్.
Sir, but you would logic it is the revival of movements would have happened.
కరెక్టే అది.
వాళ్ళ లాజిక్ కూడా కరెక్టే కదా. అంటే it's not that they're not-
అదే కరెక్టే అంటున్నా నేను కూడా.
they became mature అన్నారు కదా.
నో అంటే అంటే అప్పుడు దే ఆర్ హైలీ సింపథెటిక్ టువర్డ్స్ బ్రిటిష్ కదా. యూ కాంట్ బి సింపథెటిక్. జస్ట్ దే రిసీవ్డ్ వెస్టర్న్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, దే అండర్స్టూడ్ ఓన్లీ ద గ్రేట్నెస్ ఆఫ్ ఇంగ్లీష్, బట్ దే నో నథింగ్. అప్పుడు ఇంకా క్రిటిసిజం అంత లేదు. 1860s, 70s, 80s అప్పటికే దాదాబాయి నవరోజీ ఎక్స్పోజింగ్ డ్రైన్ ఆఫ్ వెల్త్ లేట్గా అర్థమవుతాయి. ఓన్లీ విత్ ద కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ there was a clear understanding of intellectuals, middle class, about starting a national movement. Immediately after the downfall of Sepoy revolt, government introduced an act, 1858 Act. According to Act, company rule is abolished and replaced with crown rule. Government of India Act 1858, no company rule. Crown rule started. Crown rule means on the name of Queen Victoria, England Parliament will rule. Then next, according to this act, Governor General is changed to Viceroy. Then according to this act, Secretary of State is a new office which was created. Secretary of State will be assisted with another office called India Council. In that India Council, there will be 15 members. Okay? Secretary of State. Board of Control, Court of Directors are abolished. Secretary of State. Who is the first Secretary of State? Lord Stanley. Lord Stanley was the first Secretary of State. Who is this fellow actually Secretary of State? Secretary of State.
Parliament of England.
He is a cabinet minister in England. His portfolio is India. Understand? He was a cabinet minister and his portfolio was India. Then immediately in 1861, Indian Councils Act was introduced. 1861 Indian Councils Act. Okay? 1861 Indian Councils Act. So from here onwards, you see Councils Acts. After regulating, after charter, the end of Charter Acts and now Councils Act. According to 1861 Councils Act, 3 Indians were given entry into the lawmaking process. ప్రొవిన్షియల్ కౌన్సిల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, దాంట్లోకి 3 ఇండియన్స్కి ఫస్ట్ టైం ఎంట్రీ వచ్చింది. హూ ఆర్ దోస్ 3? మహారాజా ఆఫ్ బెనారస్, మహారాజా ఆఫ్ పటియాలా అండ్ సర్ దినకర్ రావ్. ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం 3 ఇండియన్స్ వేర్ గివెన్ ఎంట్రీ ఇంటూ లెజిస్లేటివ్ కౌన్సిల్స్. ఎందుకంటే అందులో 2 మహారాజాలు. ఓకే, princely state rajas, I told you they are maintaining good relations with British after Sepoy revolt. Inkokoti Sir Dinkar Rao. In these 3 members, the only educated is Dinkar Rao. Other two Maharajas are worst fellows. They know nothing. And British wanted those people to sit in the assembly who doesn't know anything. Understand? Adi. So from 1861 Indian Councils Act, one important provision is decentralization system started. Devolution of funds begins from 1861. Devolution of funds. What is devolution of funds?
From center to state.
Pumping the funds, distributing the funds from center to states. Who is the first governor who started devolution of funds? Everyone thinks Ripon. No, Lord Mayo. Mayo is the first viceroy who gave importance to devolution of funds. Then comes Ripon. First, Lord Mayo. Mayo. Lord Mayo is the first viceroy who gave importance to devolution of funds. Then this was taken to peaks by Ripon. That's why Ripon is called as father of local self-government. And ordinance also, provision of ordinance was created in 1861 Act. And also decentralization. Why decentralization? You know, in 1861 even judiciary was decentralized. 3 high courts were emerged for first time. Bombay High Court, Madras High Court, Calcutta High Court. Previously only 1 Supreme Court was there. Now 3 high courts, 3 universities, everything was there. Now decentralized. Why? Because they have insecurity among them that they wanted to avoid future kind of revolts. Okay? ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే the biggest propaganda actually started from Sepoy revolt only. That's what divide and rule. Okay? After 1857 Sepoy revolt, there was a clear message to the British in India from England that we have to follow a agenda, okay, propaganda which is undeclared. బయటికి చెప్పలేదు ఇది అజెండా, దాన్నే డివైడ్ అండ్ రూల్ అంటాము. Because they wanted to follow divide and rule because the biggest strength of the Sepoy revolt is Hindu-Muslim unity. Antena? Hindu-Muslim unity. Now they wanted to break this unity between Hindus and Muslims. What do you mean by divide and rule? How does it work? Divide and rule. How does it work? How does it manifest? Divide and rule. Creating a clear division among Hindus and Muslims and catch the community which is very, very weak and start appeasing them by giving reservations, by giving them employment, by giving them education, and uplift them against another community and create a division among them so that there will be communal fascism, communalism. Ardhamainda sir? Huh? Sepoy revolt tote communalism start ayindi. Ardhamainda? Example, Muslim community. Understand? When you compare Muslim community with Hindu community, are you understanding my subject, my understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 1857 Sepoy revolt is a underlining statement, sir. With this, lot of changes happened in the Indian history. The biggest change happened here is division between the Hindus and Muslims. Polarization antam dinne. Communal politics start ayinayi. According to the British, Muslims are very, very weak in India. Weak in the sense they doesn't have education. They still did not get adopted to Western education. Whereas Hindus are progressive. Hindus are highly advanced. Already Raja Rammohn Rai is responsible for abolition of sati. Widow remarriage is abolished. Social evils are abolished. Child marriage are abolished. Hindus are getting uplifted. Whereas Muslims are very, very weak. Now British wanted to appease Muslim community. Because British understood that Muslims will be easily appeased on the name of religion. Now British started provoking Muslims on name of religion. Now these Muslims started fighting against Hindus. This is what divide and rule. And this will be clearly manifested in the partition of Bengal 1905. అక్కడ క్లియర్గా అర్థమవుతుంది మీకు. క్లియర్? Here starts communalism. In 1875, there was a Muslim leader. His name is Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. This Syed Ahmed Khan started Aligarh Muslim University. Aligarh Muslim University's sole purpose is to uplift the Muslim community by providing them Western education. Okay, and Syed Ahmed Khan is a very good Mussalman. Syed Ahmed Khan is a very secular Mussalman. He says Hindus and Muslims are like my two eyes. Understand? That great Muslim, he started AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, and that first principal of the Aligarh Muslim University is Theodore Beck. And Theodore Beck is a Britisher. Okay, that Theodore Beck started influencing Sir Syed Ahmed Khan. Understand? He gave a call to Syed Ahmed Khan to go and give a call to all the Muslim students to be united against Hindus. Understand? Syed Ahmed Khan, a secular Muslim, turned into a communal Muslim because of the principal Theodore Beck. English is influencing Muslim community to go against Hindus because there is a threat to you guys from Hindus. Andike Syed Ahmed Khan called all the Muslims to be united against Hindus. This is action. Reaction came from Hindus. Arya Samaj. Dayananda Saraswati. Dayananda Saraswati gave counter reaction to the Muslims by starting Gorakshak movement, by starting Shuddhi movement. Understand? Action, reaction. This is what communalism. Ardhamaina subject? Indian Renaissance, socio-religious reform movements ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అక్కడి నుంచే కమ్యూనలిజం స్టార్ట్ అయింది. నేషనల్ మూవ్మెంట్కి వచ్చేసరికి కమ్యూనలిజం వెంట్ హ్యాండ్ ఇన్ హ్యాండ్ విత్ ఫ్రీడమ్ మూవ్మెంట్. అండర్స్టాండ్? Finally, the final stage is partition. It all started with because of the British divide and rule. Right. This is Sepoy revolt and its consequences. Tribal revolts. What is the main reason for the tribal revolts? That British started interfering in the socio-cultural matters of Indians. There are socio-cultural matters of Indians, tribes. British for the first time created a havoc and unrest among the tribes by bringing its administrative policies, by doing research on the tribes, by doing research on forest areas, by exploiting forest resources, by abolishing Podu. You know Podu? What is Podu? Shifting cultivation, evangelism in the tribal areas. Example, tell me one tribe which was affected with evangelism. With evangelism. Munda tribe. One of the greatest tribe in Jharkhand, Munda tribe was affected with Christian conversions. Abolition of Podu. British started interfering in the laws, social system, 1846. Human Sacrifice Abolition Act. It was brought by Lord Haddinge. Haddinge II. This was an act introduced by Lord Haddinge, Human Sacrifice Abolition Act. According to this act, human sacrifices. తెలుసు కదా హ్యూమన్ సాక్రిఫైస్ అంటే? దీనికి ఒక టర్మ్ ఉంటుంది సార్. There is one tribe in Orissa called as Khond. Not Gond. Khond. Khond. Khond tribal leader is Chakra Bisnoy. It was a very hilly tribe. This tribe have a social practice called Messiah. Messiah means sacrificing a human being before going to harvesting, agriculture. Understand? Manishini champutadu. That was their social practice. Now Haddinge brought this act which affected the sentiments of tribes. So what is the purpose of this act? To do good for the Indians only. But reaction from tribals. 1846. So this led to the tribal revolt. Tell me one most powerful tribe in Telangana. One of the important tribe in Telangana, Gond. Gonds also revolted. Why? But Gonds revolted not against British, against Hyderabad, Nizams. Komaram Bhim, leader. In Andhra also there was tribal revolt, Rampa rebellion in East Godavari, Andhra Pradesh. Rampa rebellion.
Restriction of tribal movement.
Sitaram Raj. Alluri Sitaram Raj was the leader. One of the, and you have to understand the nature of the tribes. Nature. What is the nature of tribes? They are innocent. They are highly democratic. Understand? They totally hate monarchism. Understand? Oppression, suppression. Understand? This will be hated by the tribals. Tribals may bear, understand this statement, tribals may bear the brunt of hunger, but they don't bear the brunt of suppression and oppression. Understand? So tribals don't accept outsiders' interference in their culture. Adi, tribes, nature. They love democracy. They love peace. They are innocent. They believe in superstitions. They do believe in black magics. They don't have proper weapons. Understand? They are totally isolated from the rest of the world. They are
Their subsistence.
highly subsistent. And they do whatever it is necessary for them. Understand? And all the tribal revolts in India are the bloodiest revolts. Bloody armed revolts. Understand? And actually tribals, according to Mahatma Gandhi, tribals are the first people in this country who wanted to expel the British rule. Mahatma Gandhi says tribals are Girijans. Adivasis. Harijans are different. Harijans are Dalits. Girijans, Adivasis. So now the most important tribes. Where are these tribes? Santals. Huh? Not Maharashtra. Bihar, Jharkhand, Bengal, Raj Mahal Hills, Bhagalpur, Bengal. Hey, 5 o'clock here, I could reflections luna. 5 kira, okay? What is the problem of Santals? Santals were affected due to permanent settlement. As part of the Jamindari settlement or permanent settlement, Santals have lost their lands to Jamindars. When they lost their lands to Jamindars, they have lost their livelihood. So according to permanent settlement, Jamindars were given pattas gada. Even tribal areas also have been allocated to the Jamindars. So even Santals doesn't have, without the knowledge of Santals, this was happened, and directly Jamindars entered into the Santal areas and asked for revenue collection. Understand? Forcibly collected revenue. Now Santals suddenly came to know that they lost their lands. Wherever they go, wherever Santals go and ask the local people that they say, everyone told that this land belongs to the Jamindar. Understand? So Santals decided to rebel. Leader of the Santal tribe is, tell me, Sidhu and Kanhu. Sidhu and Kanhu are the leaders, two brothers. 4, only 2, Sidhu and Kanhu. These Sidhu and Kanhu rebelled against the General Burro, British military general. His name is General Burro. Santals have created a large-scale destruction. They destroyed railways, they have attacked police stations, they killed many British officials. What is the result of the Santal rebellion? Actually, let me tell you this, Santal rebellion is an inspiration for Sipahi revolt. Just 1 year before Sipahi revolt, this was happened. 1856, Santal rebellion. This is, నాకు తెలియదు యాక్చువల్లీ. Santal rebellion is an inspiration for Sepoy rebellion, and the result of Santal rebellion is British government itself recognized Santal's territories and created paraganas and accepted it as a Santal kingdom. Gave permission for the Santals to rule themselves. Atla Santal kingdom ఏర్పడ్డది. This was a PYQ, UPSC Prelims. British designed event, British government recognized Santal paraganas, means districts, and accepted it as Santal kingdom. ఎందుకు అంత పెద్ద డిసిజన్ తీసుకుంది బ్రిటిష్ కూడా అంటే సిపాయి రివోల్ట్ ఎఫెక్ట్. అది ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్లీ వైలెంట్ అండ్ సిపాయి రివోల్ట్ ఎఫెక్ట్. ఇది సంతాల్. The problem of the Munda tribe is joint tenureship, evangelism, the reason for the Munda tribal revolt is actually, Kunkatti. This system is called as Kunkatti system of joint tenureship. Or it was one of the traditional land system followed by Mundas. Kunkatti. So this system was affected because of the British. How you know about Podu in Gond tribe? In the same way, Kunkatti is a type of practicing agriculture in this, and the system was affected. ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే these Munda tribals have their own god, Singa Bonga. Understand? They have their own god, Singa Bonga. Now, due to evangelism, their belief systems were affected. And do you believe this if I say Birsa Munda himself is a product of Christian missionary? Right from his childhood, Birsa Munda was educated in Christian missionary school. Later on, Birsa Munda attacked Christian missionaries. He gave a call to all the Munda tribal people that don't go for Western education, understand? And just give up all your superstitious beliefs. Munda tribal people have the habit of consumption of alcohol. He asked them to give up. And also they do believe in sorceries, black magics. Birsa Munda asked them to give up all these things. I asked them to get civilized and attack Christian missionaries. Understand? Chala powerfully na Birsa Munda. This man is called Ulgulan. This revolt itself is called as Ulgulan revolt. Ulgulan revolt. In parliament. Yeah. Even awards also will be given on the name of Birsa Munda. Ulgulan revolt. Birsa Munda is called as Dharti Aba. Dharti Aba. Father of the world. Antaru itani. Bhagwan Birsa Munda. 15th November, his birthday, celebrated as జనజాతీయ గౌరవ్ దివస్ అంటారు. రీసెంట్గానే పెట్టినట్టున్నారు ఇది. So 2 important tribes. Then there is one more tribe called as Kol. Year 1899, Mundas revolt. Santals 1856, Mundas 1899. ఆ టైంలో వస్తారు. There is one more tribe called Kol, Kol, Kol. Kol also near Chota Nagpur Plateau, Bihar, Jharkhand. Kol, KOL, Kol. Kol tribal leader was Buddho Bhagat. Jharkhand, Bihar, Jharkhand. Chota Nagpur. Buddho Bhagat. Buddho. Buddho Bhagat. Same reason, they were tribal products, taxes imposed on the tribal products which were manufactured by coal. Actually, that is the reason for their revolt. Okay, na? There are number of tribes, sir. There is one most popular tribe in Northeast. Can you tell me? Nagakuki, Manipur. Nagakuki is a tribe in Manipur. Who is a leader? Rani Gaidinliu is a leader of the Nagakuki tribe. Again, their problem is Christian missionaries, reservation issue also. I think last year this tribe was in current affairs. Manipur issue, reservation issue going on. Nagakuki tribe. Rani Gaidinliu, one of the youngest girl in India, a tribal leader, but a very brave woman. She fought against the British and she was arrested by the British in 1927, I think. For almost 15 to 20 years, she was in prison. Then Jawaharlal Nehru, he released her from the prison and he calls her as Rani, daughter of India. Daughter of the hills. She was called as daughter of hills. There is one more tribe called as Orans. Oran tribe in Jharkhand. It is also called as Tanabaga. It is also called as Tanabaga movement. Leader is Jatra Bhagat. Jatra Bhagat. Now their fight is against Jamindars, money lenders, landlords for exploiting. This is the Oran tribal movement. Tana Bhagat movement is the only movement which was influenced by the principle of ahimsa, non-violence. Otherwise, all the tribal rebellions are violent, except Oran tribes. So put a note and write, this rebellion is based on the principle of ahimsa. Gandhi's ahimsa principle influenced this. 1920 వరకు అవుతూనే ఉంటుంది ఇది. 1920. Which is the most important tribe in Andhra Pradesh, Koya. Koya tribe in Godavari agency area. And the leader for this Koya tribe is Sitaramaraju. The problem of the Koya tribe, they were exploited by the local police officials and also local revenue officials, okay, in East Godavari. Rampa ane oka agency area untadi. Rampa Chodavaram అని అంటాం అక్కడ. ఈ కోయ జాతికి ఒక లీడర్ ఉన్నాడు సీతారామరాజు. సీతారామరాజు ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎ కోయ. సీతారామరాజు ఇస్ ఎ క్షత్రియ. He belongs to Kshatriya clan. But he became the leader for the Koyas. Sitaramaraj is a godly figure for these Koya tribes because he is a Hasta Ayurveda doctor. He gave a lot of encouragement, motivation. In the midst of the Koya agency area, there is an ashramam for Sitaramaraj. Understand? So he is a doctor, he is a motivator, he is a philosopher, everything for Koyas. They treated him as God. Sitaramaraj's greatness is he loots police stations. He is very good at guerrilla wars. You know guerrilla wars? What is guerrilla war? Simple. Guerrilla war means surprise attack. A surprise attack. You are giving a surprise by attacking. And again you are invisible from there. 4 దన్నాల పరిగెత్తాల అంతే. అర్థమైందా? కనబడకూడదు ఇక. సీతారామరాజు అట్లానే పోలీస్ స్టేషన్లో అటాక్ చేసి వెపన్స్ అన్ని లూటీ చేసుకొని పోతాడు. సీతారామరాజ్ attacked చింతపల్లి police station, అడ్డతీగల police station, అన్నవరం police station, number of police stations, and he loot even money also. With that he attacks British police. British government appointed a special commissioner called Rutherford, understand, to kill Sitaramaraj. And finally Sitaramaraj apologized British. Sitaramaraj told to the British that he will become sannyasi. Okay, he will leave all these rebellious activities and he will go back to Haridwar. He will become sannyasi, lead a spiritual life అని అబద్ధం చెప్తాడు. But Sitaramaraj went to East Bengal, Bangladesh. There he met a revolutionary Prithvi Singh. He learned all the guerrilla warfare tactics from there. He came back, again started attacking British. Understand? Sitaramaraj is very dangerous. Sitaramaraj actual name is only Ramaraj, but his girlfriend's name is Sita. Huh? But the relation was breakup. It is due to the breakup he couldn't marry. He decided not to marry again. But he put that his girlfriend's name Sita in front of his name, Sitaramaraj. Sitaramaraj was finally caught by Vanchu Menon, a local Jamindar. Vanchu Menon caught him and finished, killed him in encounter. Koya rebellion. These are tribal revolts. Issues are very important. The nature of tribes is important. Reasons are important. Tomorrow we will discuss peasant revolts, caste, anti-caste revolts, socio-religious reform movements up to 1905. Any doubts?